Just check.
All right, we're back for the first part C of NER Dash walkthroughs. Nikki T had a
Hey,
journey
what's
getting you to the end of this tutorial, but I think we're gonna make it this time. I'm feeling good about this one. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, like you said, there was a couple snags, but I mean, on the plus side, I think those things got addressed after we ran into them, or they've been improved. So
They
that's
have
all.
been,
That's all good.
yeah. The network's been running pretty good since we did yours. We along the way we learned how to set the specific DAPI address node. Okay, it looks like all right, we're still going to YouTube. Our streaming setup's getting
Okay.
a little funky. X recently, I think, changed something so that StreamYard can't connect to it unless you're a premium member. Do you know about this?
Yeah. Yeah. It happened to me yesterday, or yeah, yesterday I had a live stream. It has nothing to do with StreamYard. I use Restream, but it's literally like if you were to say I want to go live on X, like just with X, it
Yeah,
won't
the
work
same thing.
unless you're a
Yeah.
premium. Which I think is kind of silly because if they're trying to grow
No,
the video
yeah, I don't like that.
platform,
I don't
yeah.
like that. Yeah, bummer.
So
Yeah, and we're also streaming. We're already streaming on Twitch, and Twitch, I'm assuming, can't do two streams at once, right?
uh oh, I see what you mean because like somebody else from Dash is streaming on it.
Yeah,
Is that what you
yeah.
mean?
We have multiple people who have access to the stream account.
Yeah. If somebody's on the account right now, I don't know what would happen actually if you started a new one, if it would just overwrite the current stream. I have no idea. Never
I
never
don't
had
think
to
it.
run into that issue.
Yeah, Ryan's asking, are you able to stream while we're streaming? YouTube can, so YouTube lets you stream two different things at once. We have two live streams going. I can see them both here, and this
Yeah,
is
that makes sense. That's
totally
actually
fine.
I never thought about it for YouTube, but it makes sense because it's a different address. It's not like your Twitch account where it's like it's your
Yeah,
profile. So
you have a URL. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
cool. Uh,
Anyway, yeah. So I was just revisiting your last stream, and just for anyone who was kind of jumping in here who's watching, we got up to the point of creating the contract, which is our hello world message, and then updating the contract, which attaches an author
yeah.
property to the note, and then we're about to start writing to it. So let's get your screen back
Okay.
up. So
Cool. So I gotta get
let's
to
go
the
back.
tutorial, I guess.
Yeah, let's get the let's do that.
You want to actually?
If
I
you go to
might have.
ajcwebdev.com,
Yeah. Cool.
and then
And
go blog, the most recent one. Yeah.
cool. Let's get this up. So, okay. So we. Hang on a sec. You mind giving me 1 second? I have to take this. Just
No, that's fine.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so it's just you and me, everybody. Hopefully, if anyone is watching this, you're watching it later, and you can fast forward this bit because I have nothing interesting to say right now. Let's talk about what we did. So, luckily, he's got the outline right here for us up. Beautiful outline on my beautiful blog that lets you link to individual headers on your page. So, in part one, we just tried to. Oh, he's back.
Oh, my camera did something funky. Hold on a second. Yeah, no, sorry about that. I had a oven delivered today, and so it's like it
What's
said, yeah, we'll be here
like a
between.
literal oven, like
Yeah.
installed in your house?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
That's sick.
they're like, we'll be there between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And of course, they don't show up between that time. And then they showed up at like I think 1:30, where I I basically rescheduled the meeting because I said I guarantee you that they're gonna show up like literally when my meeting starts. So, anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah. So yeah, you were saying so. I honestly don't remember how far we got. We created the contract and then
Yeah,
trying to remember.
created and then updated it.
Okay, yeah.
So there should
here.
be after that will be the submit and retrieve documents.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here. So let's do this. I'll just put it side by side.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
see
That's good.
that pretty well? Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
so this is what's kind of confusing about this nomenclature is that the contract is like the schema, or like, in Mongo, if you have, you're saving objects to your document database, and there's
Yeah.
some sort of like, you may be saving a user object, and that user has like a username and a password and a, address and stuff like that. So like there's the schema, which is what is the user, and then there's actually your user objects itself when a user logs in. So we created the schema, which was the contract, and now we're actually writing data to it. So that
Okay.
is what the document is, or in this it says note document, because our document that we create a schema for is a note with an author. So does that all
Oh
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. No, I'm remembering what the contract we had built was now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
Cool.
this is like
Cool.
the entire tutorial gets you to this point so that it all makes sense. Like this is what ties together everything, because now you have an identity with a name that can create a contract that can write to the contract. This is actually the app part that lets this be an app with persistent data.
Okay. Cool. And so, like, just looking at the code here, so uh, just kind of want to read through it. So I get my identity. I create a new note document with my identity. I put in a message, and then we're broadcasting it to all the nodes on the network. Is that what the broadcast here is doing?
Yeah, like the broadcast is, there's something called a state transition, which basically means there's reading and there's writing when you're working with a blockchain. So everyone can read from it like an infinite amount of times, because it's every node has the same history, so you can hit any node to get a read of a historical thing. But a
Okay.
write requires broadcasting a state change that then needs to be propagated through the network so that they can all update and know that this is like a new state of the blockchain. So broadcast is when you have a write or a state change that happens.
Okay. And like we're doing a create, like you said, but we're not using these at the moment, but we could also update a contract or delete it, I guess, or a
The
note. Sorry,
document,
not
not
the
the contract.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, the
exactly.
document.
Yep,
Sorry. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Cool. And then just some console logging to see what we did. Okay. Cool. So let's go back here. So I've copied this into the submit note document. Let me just save that, and then we're gonna run it, obviously. So let's do that, and let's see what happens. Okay. All right. So it's
Okay,
talking.
I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. After you update the contract, you need to update your client, which we skipped that step because
Oh,
we
okay.
jumped straight to this section.
Okay. So is there a update?
No, 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 don't do any of that.
Oh, okay. There's
No, no. So scroll up right there. Yeah,
oh, okay.
copy
Okay.
paste
Gotcha.
that and put it in your client.js file. So
Cool.
this is, I'll explain this in a second. Let's first get it in there. So it says
Okay.
app tutorial contract ID. So the tutorial contract is where you're basically giving a name to this contract. So go
Okay.
back to your submit note document file and scroll up just a little bit. So you see where it says tutorial contract dot note.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only reason why we can do that is because in our client, we said this contract we're going to be calling tutorial contract. And since that
Okay.
tutorial contract has a property called note, we can then select that specific note property with this syntax and say we want to write this data to a note property.
Okay. Cool. So let me just scroll down. So we're gonna run it now. Okay. Um, Cannot read properties of
Okay.
null
So I
get
think,
ID.
so let's check your .env. I think this might be because we never saved something that we were supposed to in here. So we
Okay. I
have an
guess this is
idea.
all test stuff. I can show these, I guess.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So you have an identity ID, but I feel like there's something else that should be in here. Let's see. Let me double check my
Yeah, so we got the testnet. I created my wallet, my mnemonic. Yeah, I remember creating that, and then the label was my username, I believe, like on the network,
This might be
the
because it's
testnet.
been so long since we did this that some of your stuff has been blown away. We may have to
Okay,
redo some of this stuff. So this
okay,
shouldn't be too hard. Actually, let's do npm run register identity, capital I for identity.
okay. Doo-doo-doo.
Create identity, not register.
Okay, yeah. Boom, boom.
I can almost do these commands on the fly.
Okay, so we're basically recreating my identity because it's a test net, so it gets wiped every now and then. Is that the?
It shouldn't be wiped that often, but I know Ryan said sometime in the last couple of weeks that they wiped the whole thing because we're getting ready for like mainnet launch.
Okay,
So this shouldn't be an issue, especially in a month once we're actually like on mainnet and these things require like $1 or $2 to create. Then that
okay,
stuff will kind of stay forever right now. And this is the same issue if we were to do like the Dashmate local setup. You are really only saving like data in the chain itself to this like ephemeral kind of pretend network. Okay, this is good. So let's grab that identity ID and replace it with your other identity ID.
yeah, okay. Bum, 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 bum. This guy.
Okay.
Okay,
And then let's run npm run top up identity, capital U for up and capital I for identity.
okay.
And maybe identities. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's go in the package
Oh,
check.
okay. Yours was back when that U was undercase.
Okay, let's just double check. But
This is
yeah,
something
top
that's
up.
someone told me to fix this because it's not technically correct. Camel case.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And then
Well,
you need to add some credits to your identity. So that worked. That's
cool,
fine.
cool.
That's working
So
itself out.
so just to be clear, in case people are wondering, the tutorial is still working fine. It's just we're just recreating some data. That's all.
Yep, exactly. Okay,
Okay.
that's all good. I don't think we need to redo, or actually, let's just do it. Run create contract again,
Okay.
just so that we have totally fresh set.
How is it? We'll see what it is.
Register contract. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes this is create, sometimes this is register. This is another
Cool.
thing.
NR is just my
And then grab
alias.
that
Yeah.
contract ID and put that in your .env.
Okay. Done.
Okay. And then we need to update the contract, and then we can
Okay.
submit the node document.
Okay. Oh, this is still running. It looks like. I remember last time I stopped it. Remember, and then it's something
Yep,
didn't
that's right.
complete. So I'm just gonna let it. We'll play some Jeopardy music or something like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you said update.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, I think Ryan's trying to join the stream. He keeps asking me if he's gonna blow up his other stream if he leaves. I've told him like 3 times, like, no, you can leave. Trust me, it's gonna be fine. StreamYard, it just runs. Like there's an end stream button, but if I were to leave right now, you could stream for the next 48 hours without me.
Yeah, yeah. Cool, cool.
Oh, here we go. Here he is, Ryan. Oh no, your other stream went down. No, I'm kidding.
I was so
oh my
worried.
god. Yeah.
How's it going, Nick?
Cool, cool.
Okay, now
That's
submit
bad.
the
How you
node
doing?
document. I think we just got to
Okay.
the point where we wanted to be. So
Okay.
we had to go back and recreate his identity because it seemed to have been blown away.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing big. We just ran a few commands just to get stuff back up to snuff, so we can create the document, and we're submitting the note document now.
Yeah, so this is she's about to write the hello world. You showed up just in time for hello world, Ryan. This is the most important part of this 3-part tutorial experience.
Yeah.
All right. And then I saw some notes on Discord that you were doing Dashmate stuff.
That was
Did
just
you-
in case.
Just in
we
case.
got it. We had it running in the background, but it looks like we're not going to need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I was gonna say I might not be in the stream the whole time this time, but I might be popping back and forth. But
Cool.
I wanted to suggest that maybe when you get to the point where like we don't need to go through like retrieving all the identities. I think it would be more interesting for everybody, including Nick, to just kind of see it on platformexplorer.com or whatever it is.
Okay.
Seeing those things show up there externally. And then if you had the time, because of time saved from retrieving via code, you could try to register a name on Mikhail's data contract. Do you know what I mean,
Okay.
Anthony?
No, I don't know what you mean.
So like Mikhail, he has a data contract for the Platform Explorer site itself. So if you go there,
Can you give me a link to
then
that?
you can see certain named contracts that are registered to his Explorer, and then
Okay.
the Explorer gives them a name instead of just the big hex string. Is that making any sense to you?
I mean, yes, but I need to see it.
Yeah. You're sharing your screen, Nick?
Yeah,
You
that's right.
pop open a well, let's see. Before you maybe do whatever you were doing, and then
Okay. Yeah. So I was just continuing. So we were able to just recap real quick. So I submitted the note document successfully. It got created on the network, and that's just output example. So now I'm just creating the get documents script here. Just
Okay.
copy this in, and I'm just going to go ahead and run that, and I'll just let's see what we get here. Okay, so Jake Peralta is the label I have in my .env, and this is the document I just created, the hello world document. So this is our note document is successfully on the network.
Okay, so that right now would be a good time to like double check that with the Platform Explorer. So if you could open a web browser, and go to platform-explorer.com.
Explorer. Okay, there we go.
And then go to let's see, what did we just do? We did the get documents. Okay.
Yeah.
So go to the data contracts, or maybe transactions would probably be the easier way to get to it.
Okay.
Transactions, and click the top one that was probably you. And then
data contract document. Okay, yeah, that's me.
There you go.
So boom. So we're on the network. That's
on the network. So what I was saying is now go back to the home page for a minute.
Okay.
And actually go to data contracts.
Okay.
So Platform Explorer, scroll down. There's a data contract. This itself is a data contract for the Platform Explorer, so that you can now click schema.
Okay. Let's move this up.
And so this is the data contract that Mikhail wrote, and he submitted it to the network. And this is a data contract that anybody can submit documents to.
Okay.
And the document needs a name and an identifier. The name is something that you, the user, give to your data contract. So like, you've written a data contract, the Hello World data contract. And in order for the Platform Explorer to say, hey, this is Nick's Nick's Hello World data contract.
Yeah.
In order to say that to everybody who might be interested, so that the Platform Explorer, instead of showing your data contract as just a big string of hexadecimal or whatever it is, it would then, the Platform Explorer backend would then say, I'm actually contacting the network and I'm looking up this data. I'm looking up this other data, this Nick's Hello World data contract. And
Okay.
Nick has registered a name that says this is Nick's data contract, Nick's Hello World data contract. So if any of that made sense, you could try that if you have time. But
Okay.
but anyway, I might pop back in. I'm gonna jump back to the other stream just for testing StreamYard functionality myself.
Okay.
And then I'll pop back here in maybe 15 minutes or so.
Cool. Stream hopper.
There's the start stream and end stream button. Did you figure out whether people who aren't logged in have access to that button?
I don't know if they have access to the start and end stream button, but I know they don't have access to like add and remove people from stage.
Yeah, they probably can't end the stream then.
They probably
so
can't
end it.
So, all right. I'll be back in like 15 minutes.
Cool. Sounds good. Cool. So I guess we'll update a document now. Or cool. So again, just created the tutorial is pretty straightforward. We're typically just creating a new file, which is a script we're going to run, and then we just copy in the contents here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this.
Easiest tutorial ever.
Yeah. So this is to update it. So if we look at this, I get my identity again. I'm saying go and get my tutorial contract note. I'm guessing we're just saying a get to get. There's only one right now, so that's why this array we're just saying get the first one. And then we have that document. Gonna update it with, I'm guessing we're just updating it with the date because the label's the same. And then we broadcast it, and instead of a create this time, we're passing in a replace with the array of documents, which is just the one document. And then yeah, so that seems pretty straightforward. So cool. All right, so let's go ahead and save this, and boom, come back here, and then let's run the script now. So this will probably take a second, and then we should see. Okay, so okay, wait, let's see what happened here. Deprecation warning. Address is not permitted. Max read. Okay, so as a retry, so it couldn't. There was a network error, basically.
Yeah, this is frustrating because we're at the point now where it's not going to make sense for us to even use the local dashboard thing that we set up, because I don't think that's going to have any of the data we've created up to this point, like the contract and the node document and all that stuff. So,
gotcha. So, okay, so I guess the network, the test net's too busy right now,
there's one other thing we can try, which is setting the specific DAPI address. Yeah, so go to your client.
Cool.
And you're going to create, I think it's in between network and wallet. You can put it there. And it's going to be DAPI addresses.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then you're going to do an array with some quotes. And then we're going to write an IP address in there.
Okay. You want me to just make up one?
No. I'm about to give it to you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Cool. There's this one video that we did earlier, and every time I need it, I just like go back to that video and find the freaking screenshot. But here we. Okay, so it is 44.227.137.77 and then colon for the port 1443. Can you read that back to me?
Yeah. 44.227.137.77:1443.
And then it's DAPI addresses. Okay,
Cool.
let's give that a try. So run that command
Cool.
again.
Okay, so is this hitting a specific node then, or is that what's happening?
Yeah, specific IP address. I'm assuming that means it's mapped to a specific node. I really couldn't tell you for sure.
Okay, so didn't like that either, but it's not a, this one's not a retry it.
Did we ever save the document ID to your .env?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Let's go check that. So I'll have to get the documents first, I guess, again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, unless you still had the history in your terminal, which you probably don't.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's get documents. Okay, this doesn't.
Okay, so if you go back to your get documents file,
I can go in the. I'm pretty sure I have it in the Explorer.
Yeah, you do. That's right.
Okay, there we go. So I need the identifier here. Is that it?
Yeah, you got to put in your .env so that knows which document you're trying to update.
Okay. So, and it's just document ID.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right.
That should do it.
So we might not need the address.
Let's keep it there because we got a different error message when we used it. So.
All right. So let's update. This is hanging a little longer, so I'm a little more feeling a little more positive about this one. So
yeah, I know it's funny. That's definitely a thing.
Yeah, well, it's not your first rodeo, so you're like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. What's going on?
yeah. I've been realized I've noticed there's a couple where things were kind of broken. And I was like, I can just skip that command. But then looking back, I'm like, oh, that's probably because I forgot to save the .env. Because the way the workflow is set up, sometimes people don't always realize it, especially for the contract and document IDs.
Okay. All right.
Looks
so
like it worked though.
Yeah. So now if I come here and refresh, it says 8:31 here. That time should be different now if I refresh, and it is. Okay.
It says hello again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and hello from me. Yeah. Okay, it's true. Cool. All right. So the update worked well. Let's go back to the tutorial. And okay, yeah. So this is what we just have on our screen right now. Okay, now that we can create, read, and update our notes, all we have left to do is delete our notes. All right. All that hard work down the drain. Here we go. Cool. It's like, congratulations. Now let's remove it all.
It's like, when you do your AWS tutorial on those, make sure you tear down your resources at the end.
Yeah. Cool. So I'll just read through here real quick. So we're getting my identity again. We only have the one document, so that's why we're destructuring just the first array element, and we're getting them based on where the document ID equals what I have for document ID. And then we're just saying, go ahead and delete that document we retrieved. So, and then, so what we can do is, let me go just copy the command now. All right, so let's copy that and boom. And while that's running, if I come back to the Explorer here, this is the document that we just updated. When I refresh, I don't know what the Explorer does, if it gives a 404 or what it does, but
yeah, we'll find out. Because the identifier will still be there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because it's blockchain. It's like you don't delete the history. Like it's
yeah. There's really no such thing as deleting on a blockchain. It just updates the state so that the data that was there is no longer there in the place where it would have been. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, so it's null now.
It keeps the identifier, but it just says null.
Yeah. So cool. And can this be deleted? No, it's false. That's because it's already been deleted. Can you this is just a general question, but can I
Mhm.
undelete this because it's like, oops, I made a mistake. Let me.
In theory, you would be able to find the history of the creating of the note that was deleted. You'd be able to find the state change that was the creation, and you could find it that way to recreate it. There's not like
Yeah.
a built-in way in the SDK to do that, as far as I know. And I would be very surprised if that ability was in
Okay.
there. Because the idea
Okay.
being that, like, if you're deleting something, you should know that you want to delete it, just like anything else. But
Yeah.
with blockchain, it's actually impossible to delete anything. So the history's there.
Yeah.
You could find it. It may not be super straightforward, but like
Yeah.
every state change we've done is all recorded and attached to your identity, and all that's visible through the block explorer. Kind
Okay.
of.
Like I'm
The problem
kind
with
of
the blocking
curious.
explorer is the identity will only show you your 10 most recent state changes. Actually, no,
Okay.
it's worse than that. Your 10 first state changes, and then 11
Okay.
on you can't see in the UI right now. That's kind of a bug. I'm not sure if Mikhail knows about, which I should
Okay.
probably let him know about.
I don't know. Yeah, I was just curious, like going off script here, but if I ran update note document, I still have the document ID, which is this. I wonder if
Let's
updating it
find out.
from, yeah,
It shouldn't, I mean, because there's no node document to update, so it shouldn't work.
okay. So yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
work. Cannot read properties when.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you
so
have to
even
create
though
it again.
okay, so even though the identifier is still there, the blockchain just knows like, hey, I'm not getting rid of this, but you've already deleted it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Just going YOLO off script here.
These
Okay.
are good questions.
Okay, so now we gotta set up a backend server with Express here.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So PM install Express cores. Cool. And I could have just copied that, but okay. Let's echo the API server, and there we go. Okay, I haven't written Express stuff in a while, but okay, cool.
Yeah, me neither. I tend to just default to it for
Yeah,
tutorials. I assume everyone's gonna use whatever server they want anyway. But then if
yeah,
it's in Express, then everyone can kind of figure out what it's doing since everyone knows Express, even though it's kind
yeah,
of like the worst server to use these days.
yeah. Probably a Hono would probably make more sense these days, but
Hono, yeah, I'm just starting to
yeah,
get into Hono. I feel like
yeah.
I'm halfway through a tutorial.
Okay, cool. So we've got a route here. So if you go to /name/ some identity name, that'll load a page, assuming that that dash is a dash file. I forget what we did in a dash file. Okay, it doesn't
So
exist
it's
yet.
not a dash file. That's your name. So when we registered the name,
Oh yeah.
That's jperalta.dash. And
Okay,
actually,
okay,
before we do that, let's run the register name function again
cool.
to do npm run register name.
Okay.
And this may error, in which case that's fine. But I want to make sure your name is actually on there, or else
Okay.
this is not going to work.
Cool.
So this, because we already set up the identity and gave it credits. So if the name doesn't exist, it's just going to recreate the same name you had back when we
Okay.
did part 2. But if you do have the name, then this will error. So either way, we should be good after this, and then you can run the server. And it's taking
Okay.
a while, so it looks like it's doing something.
Yeah. Okay. And then if I curl there,
And then after you run the Express server, or there's a curl command, but you have to update with your actual name. You can't copy paste it.
yeah. Okay. So it looks like that ran
Great.
successfully. So let's copy this, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and stop the. Well, I'll leave that anyways. Let's just start this.
I can tell you how to stop that gracefully in a second.
Okay. All right. Let's run Express. Okay, that's running. Let me just come to another terminal. So if we come here, and then let's just put Jake Peralta. And I guess you could read the env file, but cool. All right, cool. So our API works. It found me. There's a lot of information in here. I'm just try to go to the start. Okay, cool. So we've got a minimal API running, and we can find my user. Cool. All right, so we're gonna create a Next.js app now. And cool. So this will be our front end, and I'm assuming we're gonna hit the API. I'm just gonna
That's
accept
right.
all the defaults for Next. Is that okay? Hopefully.
Yeah, just make sure to use Tailwind when it asks you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Source director. Yeah, sure.
Actually, that's going to be yes.
Okay, cool. Use all the defaults except. Okay, yes.
Yeah, it probably would still work without a source directory, but
Cool. You're
let's go
using
ahead.
App Router?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, sure. Cool. All right, so that's going to install. That'll take a second. And we're going to create a new page. So let's do that. Cool. So page.
Yeah, and then you'll start your dev server, and the page right now doesn't have any info. This is just like a basic shell to make sure your front end is set up.
Okay, so here we go. Main Next.js. Okay, cool. All right. That's good. So we got our class names, little Tailwind going on. Okay, I'll just save that. And then anything else before we start it up? No? Okay, cool.
Should be good.
Right. Oh, I didn't create it in a Next folder. It'll still run, but
no, it did, because the way the npx create next command, so cd into next, it did do it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it did. Sorry. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I had the command set up so it would do that.
Cool. All right, and our dev npm run. Cool. All right, so we got our website. All right, we've got a beautiful website here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's continue on in the tutorial here. Okay, so we just need to set up a couple things here. So now let's include logic to fetch our name. Okay, so let's do .env.local. Does that exist in? I don't think it created it.
Not yet.
It?
That's the
No.
command the echo command is for.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should just learn to read. Cool. I'm gonna let that run. So I'm just gonna create another terminal.
Make sure you're hold on. Make
Oh
sure
yeah,
to
next
cd into the
next
next directory. Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Do you have an
Thank
alias
you.
so you don't have to write cd?
Yeah, it's a feature of Linux. I'm on Mac, but I can send it to you after. I forget what it is. I have it in my. If you have something like Oh My ZSH, it does it automatically. But
I removed.
Okay. Yeah, There's other things I want to
I'm not sure if I like it, because I kind of like the explicitness of knowing when I'm changing directories.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that created the .env.
Yeah, I just noticed how you were just typing the directory name and then it was cding. So I'm like, how is he doing that?
Okay, wait, I don't see my .env.local. Let's try that again. Why is it not copying? Copy. Okay, there we go. All right, weird. And then in here, I'm gonna put my Jake Peralta, I guess.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, and this is because it's gonna set it with an environment variable in the endpoint, so that, because I used to have it just hard coded, and you'd have to go in and actually change your endpoint name, but this will ensure that it's going to be matched to your label that you've created.
Okay, cool. All right, so I copied the updated code for the page, and so essentially we've got our API running right now. That's on localhost 3. Actually, is the Express server running on 3001?
Should be.
Let's see here.
Unless
I know
you stopped it.
Okay, yeah, no, it's good. It's running.
Yeah,
cool. All right, so basically we're gonna go and say go hit that endpoint for my particular user. We're gonna get the JSON payload, and then we're gonna set our using some React set state use state. We're gonna just get some blockchain data, and then we're just gonna barf it out on the screen. So
yeah, this is your React 101 right here, baby. Hit that endpoint, throw that data on the screen. You're done.
All right, cool.
Print, ship it.
Cool. All right, it said null, but let's see, why is that?
So I would restart all your servers,
I'm gonna restart
I guess.
Yeah. That Express server is still running, but we can
Yeah,
restart it,
let's restart it anyway.
and then we'll restart Next.js as well.
Yeah, I think Next.js
Cool.
probably needs to restart to save the environment variable, if I had to guess. That's a
Yeah,
pretty
there we go.
common thing for front ends.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're just basically spitting out the entire data here now, but we could make it prettier if we wanted to, but we're just, for the tutorial purpose, we're just spitting out the JSON.
Yep,
So it's pretty
exactly.
cool. So it's pretty sweet. So we're able to get my user's information, and then we're just loading it into a front end. So simple
Yeah.
API hooked
And
up
this
with
is the end
front
of the tutorial. This is kind of like, now,
Oh,
if you
okay.
wanted to, you could create more endpoints for like your other thing. You could build a full stack Dash app kind of from
Okay.
here on out. But this is where the tutorial ends, and we're already, at the hour into part 3, so we could probably, call it quits once we get some kind of like last thoughts for you on
Yeah.
Dash platform and all that.
Yeah. So, well, I guess the first thing I'd say is the tutorial you've made or updated is like pretty clear. Like, and I think it's good that you have like the copy sections and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I do like to write out stuff sometimes, but like, it's when there's a lot of stuff,
It'd be a
it's
lot of
probably
code to write. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I think the only problems I had with, like, this is our third session, but the main issues are stuff you were already aware of, like the network, the test net wasn't stable at some point.
Mhm.
So that basically caused some issues while we were doing
Mhm.
the tutorial. But
Yeah.
like you mentioned, I think a lot of that's been ironed out. So yeah, no, but like I found it pretty straightforward. I like I said, I have a bit of experience with blockchain. Like I
Mhm.
kind of dabbled in creating some dApps a couple years ago, but it's not a ecosystem I'm like immersed in at the moment. So
Do you feel like
I
you
just
would have a better idea of how to build a dApp now, having gone through this experience?
yeah, I mean it seems pretty straightforward. Like because like essentially we've created documents. So like if you were going to create an app, like given this tutorial, like we could basically create like a note app where I say like I want to create a
Mhm.
new note, save it. We could hit an API that's accessing those documents, and then we could use a front end like in Next.js or whatever you want, and
Yeah.
then create the UI to say like, okay, I'm creating a new one, so then we're creating it on the chain. Okay, I want to go
Mhm.
update my notes, so then we're going to update it on the chain and then delete. Obviously, if you're done with that
Mhm.
note, so I think what could be interesting for the tutorial is, and I guess you could leave it open ended at the end, but like maybe and now try and create your own note app, kind of. I think that
Right,
could be
yeah.
interesting,
Yeah,
but
and kinda
it's
give, like, an outline of how you would do that. Like, you need to create these endpoints, make it have, like,
yeah,
a 'cause I remember that we
yeah,
used to do it when I was in Lambda school. They would be like, it would explain an API you have to build, and it would be like, "Okay."
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's been pretty straightforward, I think. Uh, you know, um, I I definitely think too, like I've been doing web dev for a while and like Node,
Mhm,
so like familiar with the ecosystem, like not the blockchain ecosystem, but like just
mhm.
web dev in general. So I think that helped me move pretty quick
Totally,
too.
and that's the whole point of this exercise. That's why they even that's why Ryan brought me on in the first place, is for the JavaScript stuff. And I've been telling him, I'm like, there's a couple, like, there's a couple small but consequential issues with the SDK, mostly related to testnet. But like, it
Yeah,
actually is really good. Like, it's very clear. There's like the functions you want are exactly what you want them to do. They're named well. Like, I think that the JavaScript SDK, I think they did a really good job with it. I think it's unfortunate the team kind of let it go. And we're like, here you go. Hopefully it works. And I wish I could just find whoever on Dash actually built this thing in the first place, if they're still around, and be like,
yeah,
"Hey, can we just like do a session where we fix some stuff?" Because it's pretty dang good, actually.
yeah. And I guess a question about like making improvements is, I didn't check, but I'm assuming a lot of this stuff is open source, like the
I mean,
platform
yeah, like
explorer.
it's everything is open source. Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of blockchain. If you can't read the code, it's not blockchain. Is pretty much how it works.
Yeah, it'd be kind of counterintuitive to say it's closed source, but it's decentralized software.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't actually make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but all I have to say is like if people did want to make improvements, they can create issues and like maybe even fix some of the stuff. So like
Yeah. Yeah. There's the platform, just dash pay / platform on GitHub. You don't need to go to it, but that's where all of this code lives, is all these packages, like the Rust package, the JavaScript package, the individual components of those, which is like Dash and Dappy and stuff like that. So it's like this huge
yeah,
ecosystem of different stuff that got built. That's all kind of leading up to platform. That's gonna launch in 13 days. So you're like
okay,
right on the cusp of history, Dash
all right,
history.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's curious to see where it goes. Like I said, I said this like in the first stream, but I'm always interested in new technologies. I'm still skeptical a bit about
Mhm.
blockchain, but having said that, I own some cryptocurrency, which is not,
So
which isn't,
I would say that's a
to be clear, it's not the
contradiction.
same.
If you were
Yeah,
skeptical, you would not be putting money into it.
yeah. No, I put it in a while ago, and but also I'm bringing that up too because like there's two things like there is cryptocurrency, but that doesn't necessarily mean like like I guess if you're
The
building
whole
a
dApp
dApp,
thing is it's different, yeah, because people own cryptocurrency, but actually interacting with like data saved on chain, unless you have an NFT, no one does that.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just curious what people in general build in terms of dApps. Like financial apps make a lot of sense because it's the blockchain, but like
Mhm.
I'd be curious to
Yeah.
see what other things people do create. Like a game or like a practical thing like the note taking, like we were talking
Have you
about.
heard of Noster?
That name sounds familiar. I'm not sure if I've heard Nodder talk about
Yeah,
that.
Nostr. It's not blockchain, but it's a decentralized like kind of Twitter replacement, which obviously
Okay.
everyone was trying to build. You had Blue Sky, you had Mastodon, and this one was, I really liked it because it was basically just like, it is a similar experience to blockchain, where it's like you just kind of create like a private key, and then you have
Okay.
access to this like decentralized network, and then different people build front ends on it. But I think there's still a lot of stuff to be done in decentralized social networks. And I do
Okay.
think that more people are going to be on them, whether they realize it or not, eventually, as the UX kind of gets better and better. But I would say that's
Yeah.
probably the real killer use for dApps, because whether people want to buy into this whole blockchain thing, enough people want to buy out of the current social media thing that exists, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I'm still curious where things go. I mean, obviously, like Web3 as it's been coined got a really bad rap at one point, just like
That's why
rug
it's gone now.
pulls, NFTs.
You're not gonna hear anyone use the term Web3 anymore.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, no, totally. Because yeah, there's a stigma associated with that, and like, yeah,
I
and
know.
yeah. No, I'm just curious where it goes, like it is a technology, so like I said, I'm always interested in things, so that's why I like poke around and
Yeah,
stuff,
you're
and
open-minded, so that's why
yeah.
I knew I could rope you into this thing. I'm like,
Cool.
Nikki T's chill. He'll do some blockchain.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, but thank you so much, man. Really glad we went on this long 3-part journey with you. And yeah, if you're ever looking for extra work, we always got code that could use some slinging it dash.
cool. Sounds good, man. All
Yeah.
right.
Why don't you drop your Twitter for people who want to follow
Yeah.
you?
I don't know why I can't post it in the comments in StreamYard for some
Actually,
reason.
well, I know your stuff. It's just Nikki T online, right?
Yeah, or just if you drop nickyt.co, that'll link to everything. That's like
Okay.
my blog, and then it links to the streaming and stuff. So yeah, I've been streaming a lot. I usually have I'm a little busier lately with guests. I have more. I kind of booked a bunch. But yeah, live streaming with guests, but also live streaming work because I work in open source and also just digging into stuff. Yeah,
That you got
and
open sourced.
yeah,
The coolest
exactly.
place to learn about your open source repo needs.
Thank you for the plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to come on my stream again sometime. We'll hang and we'll mess around with some stuff. Anthony's not selling himself on the stream here, but he's been doing some really interesting stuff with AI as well. I know he's big into
I use
Dash
it
right now.
for all the Dash streams. Every stream we do, I run it through Auto Show now.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well,
I gotta go get some medication for my cat. So I'm gonna
okay.
get out of here.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Take care and say hi to your cat for me.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Later.